Hello, guys, and welcome to Tech Talk with Ethan. We'll wait for Miss Rivera to pop on here.
Yes. Okay. Um, so I'm with Miss Jessica Rivera, the stage tech teacher at Renaissance High School for the Arts, where I go. Um, and thanks for joining me, guys. And my first question is, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate that. I'm the full-time stage technician at Renaissance High School for the Arts, and Ethan's one of my students. He's in the advanced technical theater class. And what I do is I maintain the school's theater facility and the school's Performing Arts Center theater. And I also teach 4 classes of 10th through 12th grade students. And we have 2 introduction to stage technology classes where students are able to get a general overview of technical theater, such as carpentry, scenic painting, lighting, sound, and they're able to work hands-on on all the productions, and they learn vocabulary. And then also we have 2 advanced stage technology classes where students can further their studies and go into what they want to focus on and go into hopefully designing some of our shows. So we work hands-on with the students on all the productions, and they help me set up all of the productions on campus, such as music concerts, assemblies, plays, musicals, and we have over about 60 productions a year at our schools. We're a performing arts school in downtown Long Beach, a part of the Long Beach Unified School District.
Thank you. How'd you get into technical theater?
I actually went to Renaissance High School for the Arts, and I was the second graduating class. I graduated in 2009, and that's how I got into technical theater. That's how I found my passion for the art. I actually didn't know what technical theater was when I first started high school at all.
Wow.
I kind of just joined the class because friends were in it.
Yeah.
And I really got involved and fell in love and started working on all the musicals and working every day after school with my stage tech teachers. So that's how I found technical theater.
Great. What's your favorite part of live theater?
My favorite part is the community. So just when you're working on a show, usually whenever I work on a show, everybody is just so open and welcoming, whether they're an actor or a part of the production team. Everyone just welcomes each other in, and they work together to put on a production, and we all become a family, like a theater family. So that's why I always tell my students when they first enter the class, hey, welcome to your theater family. So that's why I always say that.
That's great.
I also
great
like
to go by.
Things. Huh? Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, never mind.
Oh, just a few other things like I do like is that you have to be in the moment when working on live performances. So you if you make a mistake, you just have to make the decision really quickly and move forward because that show is still going on. So I feel like that teaches people a lot and students while working on shows.
Yeah. If you could work in any theater, where would it be?
That's a great question. And I thought about that. I was thinking about that, and I honestly am really happy at Renaissance. Like, I love my job and I love working at Renaissance High School for the Arts and the Performing Arts. I would just want to continue on working at our high school, at our Performing Arts Center, and it was just built in 2018. It's a brand new Performing Arts Center venue, a unique black box theater, and I feel just honored to be able to be in charge of that theater and to teach the students there and to teach a new generation of artists this craft. So I'm honestly really, really happy where I'm at and honored to be at working at our theater. So
amazing. What is your main focus in technical theater?
My main focus is stage management and also sound.
And
So
how'd you,
both of those.
yeah. And how'd you choose that focus?
I felt like I felt like I almost didn't really choose those focuses. Those focuses kind of chose me.
Yeah.
I started I mixed. Well, I know I chose sound because I've been a musician, so I started playing violin when I was 9, and I've always been in the orchestra throughout school. And in high school, I had the opportunity in stage crew to mix a musical, and I mixed my freshman year. I mixed Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, and that was a really fun experience just to see the behind the scenes aspect where of how like everything's mixed and the sounds created, whereas you're just playing in an orchestra. So I really kind of fell in love with that, and so that's how I feel like I started sound. I also was thrown into sound design a little bit in college at Cal State Long Beach, where we did student showcases, and they were these student produced plays each week, and all of the performances were all produced and put on by students, and they needed sound designers. Not a lot of people wanted to be sound designers, and they came up. Some of my peers came up to me and they're like, "Hey, you're a stage tech. Would you want to do sound design?" And I'm like, "Sure, I'll try it out." And then after that, I started editing music and doing all of the sound effects for their shows, and just continued on and really loved doing that.
Great.
Stage management, I did that all throughout high school. I stage managed all of the musicals at Renaissance, and just kind of got thrown into that too.
Yeah.
I really love doing both.
Great. We have a question in the comments. What's the biggest technical challenge you've experienced, and how did you get through it?
Oh, that's a great question. Let me take a minute to think. There's been a few. Well, there's been a few. One of the recent ones was during our performance of the Mousetrap. We have these fluorescent work lights in our theater, and again, it's a brand new building, brand new performing arts center. So we, working out the kinks. It was one of our first dramas in the theater, and the fluorescent work lights wouldn't. Right before the show, we tested everything. The fluorescent work lights wouldn't turn off during the performance.
Oh.
So we had those lights. We had those lights on throughout the whole performance, and I was running around trying to fix it, and honestly at that point, when the show was already going, I couldn't do anything. So we were able to adjust some things in the show and make it work. Other challenges, of course, there's been a lot of challenges with working with working on musicals, live performances with wireless mics. I've been an A2 a lot for different performances. So just trying to catch actors as they get off stage, if there's a mic malfunction, and try to put them into that mic real quick while they're trying to get back on stage. That's always a challenge.
Exactly. Yeah. I've had that issue too a few times. You work in live theater. What is your favorite type of live production?
My favorite type is musicals. I love working on musicals. Again, that's where I found my passion for technical theater, is by working on musicals at Renaissance. And I love it, and as working on it as a stage manager or as a sound designer. So I don't know, it's just best of both worlds for me. It's theater with music, and just I love the whole production team around musicals as well.
Exactly.
Just how everyone works together to put up that show.
Yeah. I love the aspect of that too, just like the connection of everyone working together as a team,
Yeah, and it's really fun to work on musicals as a sound designer, because you work with a lot of different production managers, such as the musical director, the conductor, the musicians, also the actor, also the performance, the actors.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out all of the equipment, all the microphones, all the sound effects, and how
Exactly.
to mix that. So that's always fun because it's challenging. So I always like challenge.
Yeah, exactly. If you could work on one original Broadway show, what would it be?
One original Broadway show, I'd have to say I would love to work on Wicked. I would love to work on Wicked. I just love the story. I love all the tech elements. So I think it'd be a really, really fun show to work on.
That's great. Yeah, it's a good show. What advice would you give to students or anyone who wants to get into technical theater?
The advice I would give is just to make sure that you're really passionate about working in technical theater, that this is something that you really, really love to do, and that you're not just doing it to make money or pay bills. Like, this is something that is a part of your life, and that you can't live without. This is some more than just a job. And make sure to, be available and to be open to trying new things. Like, if there's a new job, maybe say that I mostly do stage management and sound, but if a new job opened up, like, hey, would you want to try doing maybe the props? Just be open to doing that and trying out everything in theater. And even if you're a tech theater person, learning about acting or learning about directing, learning about every aspect, so that you could have an appreciation of that and know how to work with everybody.
Exactly. Do you like listening to podcasts? And if so, which ones?
I don't listen to too many podcasts, but I do listen to Twins Talk Theater with Stacy Hennon Stone and Cindy Hennon Moreno, and they're both they're twin sisters, and they are both technical theater artists that have been working in the industry for a really long time and have a lot of great experience. And they interview other technical theater artists working in the industry, and they talk about all these different cool topics that there's no other podcast like it. So I highly recommend listening to it. You could follow them on Instagram at Twins Talk Theater, and their link to their podcast is in the bio. And yeah, I've actually worked with Stacy as well. She's a really awesome, amazing person to work with. She was the technical director at the Palos Verdes Performing Arts Center, and I got to work with her there, and she just taught me so much. So highly recommend listening to their podcast.
We have another question. Do you do any tech work outside of RHSA?
Yes, I actually do. Honestly, not recently, because all theaters have been closed, but I do. I love to work at the Long Beach Playhouse, which is a local community theater. It's right by my house. Amazing people work there, and they put on amazing productions. So they've given me a lot of opportunities to do sound design for their musicals and plays there. And most of the staff are graduates as well from Cal State Long Beach. So they're that's a fun place to work that I love to work. I feel is a part of my theater family. So definitely check out plays there. And we're trying to do some they've been trying to do some maintenance on the lighting and the sound. So when they're back up and going, they're going to be putting on some really great productions again. And I was actually supposed to work on the sound design for Company with them this summer, but unfortunately that we couldn't do that show because of the pandemic and the coronavirus.
For sure. Yeah.
Also, the couple other ones would be the Long Beach Performing Arts Center. I'm still on call there as a stagehand, so I work occasionally on call with them at the convention center or the Long Beach Performing Arts Center, the Terrace Theater or the Beverly O'Neill Theater. So so I try to stay work.
Is Company gonna happen that you know of? At the Long Beach Playhouse?
Not that I know of this summer. I'm not sure if they're gonna postpone it or I'm not quite sure. I know that we couldn't do it this summer, so I'm not sure. Hopefully we can do it in the future. We're hoping to do it in the future.
Mm-hmm. Just a side question. As we're in a pandemic, do you think theater will open back up again after this is over?
Yeah, I definitely think that theater will open up again. It's been around it's one of the oldest art forms, so I don't think that
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna stop us from this. This is gonna deter us or, from our art. I think we're gonna find ways to still produce our performances, and I know that we're gonna be able to have live audiences again. So
Yeah.
I definitely think we're gonna have shows again, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Same. Another question. What's the process of sound design in a show?
The process. Oh, okay, that's a great question. What I always, of course, you whenever you're designing anything, you want to start with reading the script. So you want to read that a couple times actually, and the first time just for enjoyment, and then the second time is when you'd want to take more notes on. That's when I would start taking notes on this what it actually requires, what sound effects are required,
Mm-hmm.
What characters there are, how many mics would be needed. I start taking my own notes, and then as a production team, we would start having production meetings. So we would meet, all the production team would meet. So I would be able to take my notes to the meetings, and we would discuss first. We first start discussing concepts, and the director would usually discuss their vision of the show and what their message and their requirements. So we would have a couple meetings with the director and the production team discussing that. And then I finally would develop a concept, and I would talk about, hey, this is the style. This is the style of music I'm thinking of using. These are the sound effects I'm thinking of using, and here's why. Because, I would reference different things in the play or reference how it relates to the message the director wants to send. And then, of course, would talk to the music director and the conductor and make sure that I meet all the requirements for characters that need microphones and instruments, and do research on what would be the best equipment to use, what equipment is available at that venue, in order to put together the best sound quality for and for their budget.
Yeah.
And then,
sure.
Of course, then we would go into rehearsals. So start attending rehearsals, at least attend one run through, and start during tech week. And load in. You would start setting up all of your microphones, all of your inputs, testing your wireless mics, and hopefully, you would have like an A2 or an assistant to help you. If not, you have to be the one to do it. So then setting everything up, going to all the tech rehearsals, and finally hopefully seeing previews with an audience, because no matter how much preparation work you do as a sound designer, the show, the level, the sound in the theater is going to completely change when you get the audience in there. So it's important to see a couple previews with the audience and see what you can adjust. So that's usually the process. And then when I start, of course, doing a lot of it usually involves a lot of research on if the play has a certain time period. You want to research the music and sound effects that would go with that time period as well.
Great. Good advice. Is there anything else you would like to we miss, or anything you want to discuss?
I'm not sure. Is there anything else you were wanting to ask me?
No, I mean that was everything I had. My mom just said there's so much that goes into the behind the scenes work.
Yeah, so much that people you know, people don't really realize when they're watching the show, but
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure. Let me check the chat real quick to see if there are any more questions. Not that I see. So, thank you again for joining me today. It was a pleasure having you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so honored that you wanted to interview me and that the P3 Theater Company asked me as well. And I'm so excited to work with the P3 Theater Company as well. When our school opens back up, we're going to hopefully be able to work with them in our Performing Arts Center theater and collaborate on some shows, because our theater will be open to outside community use. So we're a P3 Theater Company. We're going to start a partnership with them. So we're very excited for that. So thank you so
Great.
much. Thank you so much
No
for having
problem.
me.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining, and we will see you next Tuesday for P3 Educates Live. Thank you.
All right. Good job, Ethan. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
No problem. Thank you guys again, and we will see you next Tuesday at 4:30 with P3 Educates Live. Thank you.